Okay, so I think we've got quite a few people joining us. So let's start off with the session then. Hello everyone. Welcome you all to the Oxford Online Learning Experience session. And firstly, a very good morning, afternoon, and evening, depending on which part of the globe you are today joining us from. My name is Sehaj. I lead the recruitment part of our online programs here at Saïd School and University of Oxford, and would like to welcome you all on behalf of the university and the business school. We have got a very fantastic panel with us with program tutors who teach on our program. I would like to welcome everyone and thank you for taking out the time to join us today. And also our alumni as well, who have recently completed the program, and some have been part of the program long back as well. So they will also be sharing their own insights about the program, the learning experience that they have been through. And I would like to welcome them as well and thank them for taking out the time today. So, in this session, we will be majorly touching upon the big question that every one of you have in mind, that what does it take to get into a prestigious university, that too without taking a hit on your regular life and getting to be the part of this prestigious institute. So we'll not just be going through the experience side of the program, but also be touching upon the individual programs as well. So this is one of the kind, I would say, sessions that we are holding in wherein you will not just get an understanding about one program, but we in fact have five different breakout rooms where you will be getting a much deeper understanding from our tutors, the program team, as well as the alumni on those specific programs. So let's start off with the basic housekeeping stuff. So this is obviously a very much highly interactive session that we want to keep. You will have a Q&A box that will be there. So please feel free to start putting on your questions and whatever the queries you will have. And there are people from our program team constantly monitoring that chat, and they will be answering that. And also we have a dedicated Q&A session at the end of the session wherein the tutors, the program team, and the alumni will be answering whatever questions that will be relevant in that session. Secondly, this session unfortunately will not be recorded, as this is a one-off session that we are exclusively doing for the people who have joined us today and for only these people who have joined in. And finally, as I mentioned earlier, there will be five different breakout rooms. I'll give much more understanding about these breakout rooms as we progress further in the session. Okay, so we have a very fantastic agenda and a very impactful hour lined up ahead of us. So this session, just to give a context, is divided into two halves. The very first one will run for the next 15-20 minutes, which is the main room which we all are in at the moment right now. We'll be touching about five key elements in this. The very first being why Oxford. The second one is the overall learning experience and the journey you all will be going through. The third would be an understanding about the platform and how that learning experience actually looks like in reality. And the fourth being the benefits about the program. And the final being the alumni community and also the journey after the program. How does it look like? So after we conclude the main session that happens in this particular room, we'll be moving out to the breakout rooms, which I had highlighted earlier, which are five breakout rooms, which you will be having an access to. And depending on whichever area you want to get more understanding about, you can get into that. And also whichever program you want to get understanding about, you can get into that specific breakout room. So just to give an understanding, there will be five breakout rooms that we'll have in this session. The very first being the AI breakout room, which will have our three main AI programs: AI ethics, regulations, and compliance, generative and agentic AI, and leading AI implementation. So people who are interested in, they can go into that particular room and they can get much better understanding about that. The second one will be the sustainability breakout room, which will have the sustainability and data reporting management program, the sustainable financial strategy program, and third one will be the management breakout room, which will have our flagship MBA fundamentals program. Fourth would be the leadership one, which has our emerging leaders program. And the final one would be our fintech breakout room, which will be covering our fintech program. And in each and every of these breakout rooms, you will be accompanied by one of the members of the program team, along with the tutors who teach on any one of those programs. And in some of the breakout rooms, we also have alumni also who will be sharing their own personal experience in that. And finally, we'll be keeping at least about 15 to 20 minutes in the end for the application process, which the program team in that breakout room will be guiding you through. And also, there will be a dedicated 15 minutes kept for the Q&A part as well, which will directly be answered by the panel present there. So, without wasting any further time, let's dive deep and straight into the session. So, let's start off with the very first, I would say, the most simplest question, but yet the most impactful question, that is, why University of Oxford and Saïd Business School? Well, University of Oxford obviously doesn't require any kind of introduction itself. It has a 900 years of legacy, scaling education and taking education to greater heights. But if we leave the legacy part and if we talk about more from a recent aspect, then even in the recent years, that is the last 10 years consistently, University of Oxford has been ranked as one of the top institutes in the world. And the business school, which is Saïd Business School associated with the university, is also not just one of the top business schools in the UK, but also in the world as well. And if we talk about our online community, which we call them as alumni, which will be a very a word that will be very constantly keep on hearing in this session. So we have about like 50,000 plus community with us. And one of the very big aspects of our online programs is the global community that you will be a part of. So we are able to get people from 200 plus countries and territories in the program. And I'm very proud to say that one of the big questions that we get on online programs is the completion aspect, like how many people actually complete it. So we have about 92% of pass rate for our online programs. That's there. So, I would now like to open it out to everyone present in the session. So you will be getting a poll on your screens shortly, which will be which program are you interested in? So we have list of our major programs that we have. So you'll get a list of about 8 programs. So over to you all and let's get an understanding that what is the program people are most interested towards. Okay, so on an initial basis, obviously there's no big surprise, but AI seems to be leading the chartboard here with surprisingly AI ethics being the topmost program that is kind of coming out to be as per the initial votes that people have shared, and then it's followed by leading AI implementation and the generative and agentic AI, which are kind of our new programs actually that we have recently introduced basis the market demands and the business demands that we have been receiving. And yeah, and quite a few people are showing some interest for the management and leadership side of things as well, which is our MBA fundamentals and emerging leaders program. And then we have our fintech program and the sustainable and both the sustainability programs following up. Okay, so I think we've got quite a few people sharing their insights. So, as I mentioned, so no surprises, AI is the leading one, with all the 3 AI programs kind of getting, I would say, 50%, and then the remaining with the management, and then finally the fintech and sustainability program. Well, you will get much more understanding further down about all these programs in the breakout rooms as well. Okay, so let's move on to the main, I would say, the overarching topics about this session, which is first of all the Oxford online learning experience and how that experience actually looks like, and how do we actually ensure that people do not miss out on the face-to-face side of or the on-campus side of things. So for this, I would like to, I think. One of our tutors will be the best person to give a much deeper understanding since they are the first hand people teaching on the programs. So maybe Peter, if you can, guide us through that, how exactly the entire experience looks like, how do people get the specific support, how does the learning and the interactiveness and the practicality of it looks like. So over to
Sure.
you.
Yeah, thanks, Sahij. So yeah, basically we start off with an orientation week or all courses. And then in that week you get to kind of explore the platform, get familiar and comfortable with the online learning platform, right? So you have a week to do that, and then the courses. Then we launch into the first week of the course, and it could be 3 weeks, 6 weeks, however long the course is. And during that time, you'll have dedicated tutors, which I'm one of them, and there's a whole bunch on the panel here today. And we will sort of answer any questions that you have on the content, on the course content. Now, if you have any questions on assignments or any admin type questions on the platform, etc., there's a sort of back office of staff, some of on here as well today, and you will ask them. So you have the tutors for the course content and the admin for any other questions on the platform and administration. At the very end, well, there's actually assignments and quizzes throughout, so that will keep you engaged with the course content, test your understanding of the course content on each course. And at the end, some of the courses will have a main project or an assessment or assignment that you will turn in at the end, which is worth some more, it's weighted depending on the different types of assessment. Other courses have an assessment each week. So sort of roughly split, the grades are roughly split between each week. So a variety of kind of learning, assessments. The thing is, the tutors are here to help with the content. You have the admin staff as well. And once you get familiar with the online learning platform, some of you will be your first time doing an online learning course, then you can sort of focus on the content and ask us for any help as you go through the courses. So thanks. I just hand it back to you.
Thanks a lot, Peter. I think it gives a very detailed understanding how much immersive the program is designed in a way and how much the practicality aspect of it is there.
Sure.
So let's move on to how the actually platform and I would say an experience of the platform looks like. So we have a short video here for one of our programs, which is the Sustainability and Data Reporting Management program. So in the programs, you have like certain modules, and then under that you have certain units, and then you have certain lessons which are there. So as you can see, a brief understanding that how do specific lessons look like. So you have certain reading material which is there and followed by certain video lectures which will be present on the platform which you can go through. And then you have after each of these lessons you have short exercises, I would say, and which are kind of in different kind of formats, whether MCQs or multiple choice questions, or like kind of multiple choice questions that will be there. So which makes the entire experience a lot more immersive, combining multiple elements of learning and also multiple grading that is there in place. So yeah, so that is how the entire journey, I would say, of a typical learning session that looks like. So let's move on to our next agenda, which is how like the benefits side of the program. So obviously credentials play a very critical element when we talk about so apart from the learning side of things, like credentials play a very big role in the overall impact. So these are the kind of certifications that you will be getting for the completion of the program. And please be sure that you have to at least score 50% in order to qualify for the certification and also get an access to the alumni community of the university. And you some of the programs are also in collaboration with some of our other partners, like for example the sustainability programs, as you can see, are in partnership with institutes such as AICP and SEMA, whereas other programs like the AI ones, the MBA ones, and the fintech ones and all are completely end to end by the university. So yes, so that is how those credentials and all look like. It is highly shareable. You can obviously post it on LinkedIn. You can have that thing with you, and also we'll talk further about the alumni community and what all benefits you get further from it. So talking about the network and community side of things, so I think Peter, I think you will be the best person to give us an understanding about how that networking opportunity and how basically the journey after the program looks like in terms of networking, community, and those kind of opportunities.
Sure. So, yeah, there's a great alumni community. One of the strong advantages of doing these Oxford courses is that you get to be a part of the alumni community at the end. And as you can see, there's over 50,000 now and growing. And these are people with strong professional and executive backgrounds. So, it's quite valuable in that sense. So, as long as you pass the course, get a passing grade, you will be and agree to becoming part of the alumni network. I think it is an opt-in. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sahad. Then you become a part of this global community of business leaders, essentially, who have gone through these Oxford online programs. So that's super valuable. And that we have events, the business school organize events, either in London or in Oxford. And I've been to a few of them. They're great in the great halls at Oxford and have nice dinners and guest lectures and just people flying from all over the world. It's a very international network. So yeah, it's a great value add to the course. Thanks, Sahij.
Thanks a lot, Peter. So I think that showcases that beyond the online aspect, we also have certain offline meetups as well that are part of the program. And so actually, in fact, we have Peter with us who manages the entire alumni relationship. So over to you, Peter, if you could share some insights and elaborate on that further.
Hello, can everyone hear me okay? Yes.
Yep, we can.
Um,
Yeah.
Wonderful. As Peter mentioned, it's funny we have two Peters. He gave a great rundown of the community. It is an opt-in option, so once you have finished with your courses, you will be asked to be opt-in. We get monthly newsletters, so you get monthly newsletters about new courses because you do have access to courses at a discount. They generally tend to be 10%, but they often also run specials, so there's some larger discounts depending on if there's a new program or if there's a larger campaign that we have going on. Excuse me. Peter mentioned there's several events. We go through quite a few virtual events, and then we tend to have one in-person event. We have a large-scale reunion-style event every other year, and then in the alternate years, we also try to do something in London with our alumni, which is a wonderful way to engage and network with our alumni. I left the email for us in the chat. So if you have any questions about specifics about your benefits, as well as how you can be engaged in other ways, we love to get volunteers, people who can create content, who maybe want to host some events in your local area, things like that. So any questions, you have my email address in the chat function. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Peter. Okay, so let's move on to the main element of the entire session, which is the breakout rooms. So on your screens, you will be getting certain options, which is the five different breakout rooms, which I gave an understanding about previously. So if it is not visible on your screen, you can go on the more option and you can select those specific breakout rooms from there. So whichever out of the five breakout rooms you are interested to get more understanding from the alumni, the tutors, and the program team. So please feel free to join that and they will be seeing you over there. Well, thank you everyone for joining, and I hope that this session was highly insightful for everyone, and both the main one and the breakout rooms, and you got much deeper understanding about the programs and whether these programs are suitable for you. And I'm very sure I can get a sense that a lot of questions got left out in between. So our program team is there, and I guess there will be a book a call consultation link that will be dropped in the chat. So you can feel free to go ahead and you can select any particular slot according to your own convenience, and that call will be booked with one of the program consultants that are very well specialized for those particular programs. So they will be able to give you a much more deeper understanding, and I would say a more personalized understanding about the program and how it can be beneficial and whether it is the best fit for you. Finally, if you feel any particular program is a good fit, so you can go ahead and enroll yourself, and only for the people in this session, we have an exclusive discount that is of 15% across all the programs discussed today. So the code for the same is Spring Forward, which you can put at the time of checkout. and you can get yourself enrolled. And also, we do offer certain corporates discounts and corporate enrollments for group bookings as well, which are 5 and above. So if you are any particular HR or L&D professional, or you are a team leader who wants to get your group enrolled into any of the programs discussed today, so you can again reach out to our the program consultant team, book a call with them and discuss that, and they will be more than happy to guide you further. So thank you very much, and wish you all a great learning journey ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye.